We've seen how to add our custom values to Tailwind theme and also seen how to use arbitrary values instead. But we added all these custom values to CSS properties like color, font size, background color, which exist in Tailwind CSS already. But what if there's a property itself that is not supported by Tailwind? For instance, text shadow CSS property doesn't exist. There's no utility class in Tailwind that could give you a text shadow. For something like that, we could add our own custom utilities using the utility directive. This is new as well in Tailwind version 4. Now here, give the name of the utility class that you'd like to use. Let's say text shadow. And here comes the CSS rule, which is text shadow, something like 4 pixels, 2 pixels, and the color here, let's simply add a black color with an opacity of 20%. Now you should be able to use this text shadow utility class. Let's check. Let's add this to our heading here. Right here, text shadow. Of course, you do see the auto suggestion, which should work. Let me refresh. And there we go. We do have a text shadow, though Tailwind doesn't have any utility class for that. The best part about creating utilities this way is that they work with all the modifiers of Tailwind CSS. So let's say you want to add this text shadow only on hover. That would not be the best thing to do, but anyway, it works. Let me refresh. And you see, yeah, that's exactly what we need. Alright, but it's not just single CSS rules here. You could of course add multiple rules to a single utility class. Let's say you want to create a utility card and you wish to reuse some styles. Let's say this card has a padding of 2 rem, a border, solid, 1 pixels, and let's say we want a color from Tailwind CSS itself. We can reference the variable, the theme variable, which is say color stone 300. Now we can add this utility card. So let's say we add it to the section. Once again, you're able to see the auto suggestion, and surely this works. Let's also add a border radius. So border radius, once again, you can take it from the theme and say radius XL or 2XL, whatever. And yeah, that works as well. Of course, this is great and I wanted to show you what's possible, but I don't encourage you to do this. Don't add too many styles to one utility class because all of Tailwind's utilities usually have a single CSS rule. They are tiny pieces that can be combined together to make any design possible. So if you create complex utilities like so, you might not be able to reuse them well enough, and soon you'll end up with maintainability issues. So be careful with the custom utilities you add to Tailwind. Now you might have wondered, is it possible to remove this utility directive and use class name like card just like you would do with regular CSS? Yes, of course. Look, it still works. Refresh, and yes, it works. But now this is a regular class and it's not a Tailwind's utility class, which means you will not be able to use it with modifiers. So let's say I add MD card and refresh, this will not work. Like nothing works, right? So only this will act like a regular class, and also you will not be able to see any auto suggestion. See, doesn't exist. So if you want all of those powers of Tailwind, you have to add the utility directive. So that's how powerful it is. So that's where this is really helpful.